Hi guys, it's Chloe and I'm back with another video, and today I'm doing another coming out story. As my last coming out story was regarding my sexuality, this is going to be regarding me coming out and coming to terms that I'm gender fluid. So let's get into the video. So, like sexuality, there's some signs and like came when I was younger, and some once I started learning more about the LGBTQ plus community a little more. But ever since I can remember, I've always identified as like a tomboy and never really that girly, really feminine, and never was really feminine like most other girls in my year. Didn't really like the idea of makeup, nails done, and really feminine clothes. I didn't really like that, and I've barely done that out of more very like basic casual clothes that androgynous in a way that both genders could wear. Obviously, well, male and female and non-binary, of course. So yeah, I identified as like tomboy for like ages, and then when I started like learning more about the LGBT plus community when I was about 14, 15, when I was learning more about my sexuality and gender identity, the whole spectrum of stuff, I obviously came across the label non-binary. So I came across that, and that is a label that I still go by. I go by non-binary gender fluid because obviously gender fluidity is under the non-binary spectrum. As non-binary is under the trans spectrum. So it's any I can fit under them three ways because they technically are under this. Gender fluid is a specific term, but they fit under each like category. If you were gonna like categorize it and make it more specific, you can. But at the end of the day, some people like to go by multiple identities. Some people don't like to label themselves. For me, I like the comfort of a label. Like I said, with my sexuality, just makes me feel at peace. And especially once you've found the right label for you that works, it really helps. Like it's just really helped me come to terms and just be like, you know what, this is me. I am this. And it helped me come to terms with the pronouns, which I use she, they. I've never questioned or liked or thought of using he, him or his pronouns. They don't suit me. But I still like the idea most of the time of identifying as a girl, woman, lady. So I will use she, her, hers pronouns most of the time. And that's on when I am feeling like my gender expression is more feminine, or my gender identity is more female, then I will like the female attributes to myself more. But then when I'm not, and my gender dysphoria kicks in, I like to go by they, them pronoun, like to be referred to as they, them, their pronouns, because it just helps me a lot more. And at first, I didn't understand why. At first, I was a bit uneducated. I had to be taught by watching, obviously, fellow YouTubers, reading books, research, blah, 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 blah. Saying, I was like, well, why are people using they, them pronouns when most of the time when people say they or them, they refer in a plural way to, like, more than one person, not just, like... So it took me a while to get the grips of that, but then, of course, it can be used singly. And many people use they, them pronouns as the most common pronoun that non-binary / trans people use. But there are many more. Some that I couldn't remind. C, like said, X, E, or like it's that, or it. There's loads of different ones. But they, them is definitely most popular. So then, once I started learning about like trans and non-binary, I started looking under labels within them within them. So then I started identifying as like a demi boy, which means like you identify partly as a boy but not fully. So because as I said, I didn't feel fully like a girl, and obviously I didn't, so I was like, well, maybe I feel part boyish, like masculine in a way, so like that's why I identified that. And that with that for a while, then it changed to demi girl, which made more sense, which is basically the opposite, where you feel partly a girl but not all of it. And then I went back to non-binary again. Then I discovered the word Libra feminine, which honestly, doing research can help. There's so many different labels out there. Like, a lot of them can intertwine and sound similar, but it's all about what works for you. Then after that, I went. I like the idea of being called girl flux, because like it's similar to like the word fluid, flux, fluid. So how it can change between being really feminine to not. And then it went to gene sexual, which is, I thought, like to do with like female and fluidity and stuff. But then I came to terms with gender fluidity. Like, it was definitely after that between gender queer, gender fluidity, but gender fluid fit definitely more for me, because it literally explains my emotions and feelings throughout the day. Like, some days are worse than others, hence why there are most times I wear, like what I'm wearing right now is so casual, that so both genders could wear. I try and wear very androgynously stuff. I have my hair tied back most of the time. I've got it cut shorter. I barely wear makeup. I don't necessarily like really wear really feminine stuff like skirts, dresses. I mean, I know some men can, and I don't necessarily like the idea of wearing a bra all the time, to be honest. A binder is something I've wanted to be interested in, but I just don't. I have read facts about it and know that you're not meant to wear them for so long. Obviously, because it can like do damage to like your breathing and stuff. And I'd sleep a lot, because of my mental health, which I'll talk about in another video. And I also think, and I'm not just now, I have done my research here, and I'm getting tested for this to help, that I've got chronic fatigue, and I know that can link with like depression, anxiety, because it can make you feel like really lethargic and tired. But I am on, I've started about vitamin D tablets that's meant to be helping with the tiredness. So I've been taking them, and I have seen a bit of a change, but I'm still going back to bed during the day, but I'm not sleeping for as long, or I'm not going to straight to sleep later. When I do come upstairs like I am now, I am either reading first, listening to music for a bit first, doing YouTube bit first, or just chilling first before then sleeping. So that's basically that. So yeah, that's my story of my gender fluidity, how I came to terms with it, and how I came to terms with the pronouns that I use, and how gender identity is how like someone identifies on the inside, and like my gender expression is how like our appearance and we express ourselves. I had to learn like the difference between that, in that they don't necessarily have to match, and sometimes they can. But yeah, that's really it for this video. I hope you like. Please subscribe. Make sure to turn on notifications for future videos, as I am a very passionate activist for speaking out about LGBTQ plus issues, mental health, disability in any way, like especially invisible disabilities, because obviously they're harder to recognize because they are classed as invisible, obviously. So there's definitely different diverse of topics that I talk about on my channel, with the odd haul here and there of Harry Potter stuff, or what I got for Christmas and birthday and stuff, because Harry Potter is my special interest, special interest autism. I will talk about my autism in a near video, but yeah, I've got some people with autism can have just one special interest, some have many. I have many, but Harry Potter being one major one. So yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling now because this video is quite a long time, for my liking, and I'm gonna leave you in peace. Have a good day, evening, night, whenever you're watching this.